With every single sorcerer on the anti-Sukuna squad down for the count, and Sukuna fresh off the Black Flash that will undeniably begin his ascent back to prime form, the only thing that can stand in the way of the King of Curses is Kusakabe Atsuya, the strongest grade 1 sorcerer Jujutsu High has to offer, not including the 3 great families of course. Now with the high recommendations of both Nanami and Gojo, accompanied by Meimei, who we already knew held Kusakabe in good grace as far back as Shibuya, it's not a doubt anymore that Kusakabe has been hiding true Jujutsu power that none of us are ready to witness. From the comparison that Meimei makes to Itadori Yuji, claiming his power is similar to Kusakabe in that he may be able to achieve grade 1 status even without a curse technique, implying just like Itadori, Kusakabe is a physical powerhouse who, much like Miwa, specializes in simple domain, barrier techniques, and swordsmanship. We already know how strong Yuji is, able to scale buildings and endure high-level attacks from even Sukuna, but also dishing out powerful blows with their own strikes. While not quite demon god level, since Kusakabe hasn't received any crazy buffs from a cursed object like Sukuna, he most definitely uses his own personal strengths and shortcomings in a tactical way to achieve the best results. Kusakabe was the one responsible for training Itadori during the 1-month time skip, and regardless of whatever soul swap, weird text bubble placement, Jujutsu theory time nonsense is going on here, one thing is clear. When an entire room of sorcerers are present, and even at this point, Gojo Satoru himself is back, Kusakabe was the one chosen to mentor Itadori to the next level. Obviously, we know Yuji also trained with Choso and Kamo, but that's beside the point. This proves Kusakabe's cursed energy manipulation, as well as his martial arts capabilities, are comparable enough to Itadori to act as a sensei-type figure. Whether this also includes soul manipulation or not is something we'll be getting into later. Considering Kusakabe is Miwa's teacher as well, carrying around a sword isn't just for show. Despite Kusakabe doing his best not to use it or get into fights he can't win, it can't be denied. This also means he's able to proficiently teach barrier techniques like simple domain and infusing cursed energy into his blade to increase attack power. The man clearly also has abilities we haven't seen, whether they be further entries down the Bato sword drawing technique line or increased domain amplification / anti-domain measures. But most importantly, Kusakabe is masterful enough in defense to shield himself and multiple others from a critical attack like Kenjaku's maximum Uzumaki, a cataclysmic strike that leaves the ground scarred but hurts no one thanks to Kusakabe's capabilities. Surprisingly, this is even enough to make Kenjaku compliment Kusakabe, out of all the half-dozen sorcerers at the location, saying he's the only one with any know-how. All of this points to Kusakabe having some kind of secret that's led him down this path. If Kusakabe wants to have any real chance against Sukuna, unfortunately, everything we just talked about is not close enough to face a King of Curses that is now regaining stamina thanks to his Black Flash. Unless Kusakabe is gonna start whipping out Black Flashes of his own, there needs to be a reason Kusakabe chooses not to fight out in the open, and this exact situation may fill every condition he needs to go all out. This is just a theory, but based on his relationship with Yaga Masamichi, another person who we know was technically a secret unregistered special grade due to his curse technique that allowed Yaga to make an unlimited amount of self-sustaining puppets that live even after he dies. It's completely possible the two of them were able to trust each other because they both kept each other's secrets. Of course, this could be debunked by noting the reason Kusakabe's tied to Yaga in the first place is all because of Yaga just being a good guy wanting to help Kusakabe's sister by quote-unquote reincarnating her dead son. But what if, like Yaga, Kusakabe is also a secret special grade? Two undercover powerhouses well aware of the higher-ups' prejudice against techniques they can't control. But unlike Yaga, Kusakabe's secret power isn't something he can just hide or pretend is something different. Yaga got lucky by saying Panda was a work of nature and a pure random anomaly that couldn't be recreated, and was able to hide behind his normal puppets that weren't self-sustaining, and keep everything secret in a hidden forest. Kusakabe, though, could have some crazy curse technique that makes him never want to fight or be put in a position to use it because it just exposes him entirely. But now that everyone's gone, perhaps this is the perfect opportunity for Kusakabe to show his true colors with no audience. Or not. That could all just be a pipe dream. Could not be true at all. But if Kusakabe is just a simple domain merchant, there is still high hopes for Kusakabe being able to stall and hold off Sukuna in one of the coolest ways imaginable, even with Sukuna feeling the core of his cursed energy and severely boosting his stats stats with the Black Flash, Kusakabe has the perfect toolset to fend Sukuna off until either Maki or Yuji recovers. The biggest worry all of the anti-Sukuna squad had was Sukuna regaining his cursed energy output, resulting in higher attack power, quicker reverse curse technique, and potentially regaining access to domain expansion. And obviously, for all intents and purposes, whether Sukuna's attacks get stronger or his healing gets better, his domain is endgame, no doubts about it. What a great time for an anti-domain mastermind to enter the fray, potentially with a higher level simple domain than Gojo to defend against Sukuna's malevolent shrine, possibly able to cast it multiple times, or maybe use domain amplification to dull and neutralize Sukuna's techniques for a time, if the King of Curses takes it easy. Either way, Kusakabe has been shown to withstand Sukuna's dismantle attacks before. Back against the wall, with, as far as he knows, no one coming to help him, Kusakabe just might be able to hold out for longer than most people are currently giving him credit for. If you really think Kusakabe doesn't have anything special to offer more than his sword drawing abilities and barriers, another great way Kusakabe could leave a lasting impact, as well as make Sukuna approachable to the remaining fighters we have left, is showing us the maximum version or highest level of domain restriction technique, which for some condition completely locks off Sukuna's domain. But the truth is, Kusakabe is also just as likely to be the first person to get hit with Fuga since the Shibuya incident, since, you know, he was the person to remind the audience that Sukuna has not used that attack yet, and it may or may not be his poetic justice. But that would just be a cruel and awful death. Honestly, I would have to start sending fan mail in to Gege and ask if he's alright, because goddamn, I don't think we can actually handle any more critical deaths like that in this moment. It's clear no matter what happens, Jujutsu Kaisen isn't ending on Kusakabe, the strongest sorcerer available, saving the day. Again, it's most likely a Takaba situation where, against his will, Kusakabe will need to prolong the fight until either Hikari finishes off Arame, fingers crossed, Yuji or Maki heal themselves back up to fighting potential, or some other third unpredicted event occurring that brings everything back to neutral ground. One thing is for sure though, and that's that I was wrong about Kusakabe. Despite him acting like a coward in Shibuya and doing the absolute most to avoid any sort of conflict whatsoever, it appears to me that is more out of a sense of awareness in Kusakabe that exists even in sorcerers like Meimei. I mean, Meimei escaped during the fight against Kenjaku to a whole nother country and closes out most of her Tokyo investments, and we do see this attitude very apparent in Kusakabe's understanding. Meimei is most definitely not coming to his aid in this moment of desperation right now, and that tells me strong grade 1s are not only powerful, trustworthy assets, they clearly are selfish enough to know when they should stay out of a bad situation, something that keeps them alive to fight another day. Regardless of what ends up happening, it's impossible to deny how much sorcerers like Meimei and Kusakabe, very unlikely allies, were able to contribute and help the main core group develop this anti-Sukuna plan. And although it hasn't really seemed like it's been working very well, we for damn sure would not have gotten this far without Kusakabe's intelligent mind and tactical planning. Whether or not Kusakabe loses to Sukuna here, I will never be able to deny the cold hard truth of the matter. In his own funny and also pretty cool ass way, Kusakabe Atsuya is, in fact, the GOAT. If you haven't already, guys, please hit me with that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this in the future, and most importantly, thank you for watching. Definitely feel free to hit an end screen video if you want to continue your binge, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.